What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Khamzat Chimaev breaks silence on UFC title fight. Although the expectation was that Khamzat Chimaev would compete against Strickland after his UFC 294 win over Kamaru Usman, it is Dricus du Plessis who's been booked for the next crack at the title. Chimaev, of course, suffered a hand injury at UFC 294 that he initially believed was a broken hand. However, it was later revealed that he damaged some ligaments in his hand that would keep him out of training for a month. As a result, he was unable to accept when his manager told him that the UFC wanted to book he and Strickland for a January clash. During a recent interview with Aslanbek Badayev, Chimaev spoke about this situation in Russian, stating, "My manager called me and said in January, but the manager himself did not agree with them. He said, if you want, do this fight, and whoever wins, we will fight him. Because I now have minor injuries, we're treating these injuries, and we also need to prepare for the fight. You can't do this with injuries. Now there's a month of rehabilitation and then preparation. After this fight, it'll be clear who will fight me. I remain the official contender for the title." From the sounds of things, after healing up, Chimaev will begin preparations to fight the winner of the UFC 297 clash between Strickland and du Plessis. Given the timing of the fight, it's incredibly likely that we see Chimaev get his crack at the belt in 2024. Next up, let's take a look at Conor McGregor calls out Dustin, Poirier, and Khabib. With Conor McGregor expected to make his return to the octagon in 2024, the Irish star has made it clear that he isn't just returning for one fight. He's coming back to take on a wide range of opponents. During a recent Q&A with fans on social media, the former two-division champion fielded a number of questions from fans, including, if you had the choice to have a rematch with someone, who would it be? To which the Irish superstar responded by writing, "Khabib. He is fighting's biggest chicken." The post was deleted shortly after, as well as another where McGregor took aim at his longtime rival, Dustin Poirier, responding to a question from a fan who asked whether the pair would compete inside the octagon for a fourth time. He wrote, "Let's be real, it's a must, unfinished." The big question regarding McGregor's return has been when it will take place. Although he has been eager to return to the octagon, the UFC has indicated that his return will be over the summer, not at UFC 300 as many predicted. After his coach, John Kavanagh, spoke about the frustration on the MMA Hour, McGregor was asked during his online Q&A whether the UFC has told him why his return has been pushed back. In response, McGregor wrote, "I am confident we get the set date. There's no one holding no one back. A lot goes on behind the scenes, but all involved are working hard to make it happen." With no official date from the UFC and McGregor eager to return to action, many members of the MMA community aren't sure what to think. Fortunately, from the sounds of things, McGregor's 2024 return is on, even without the official date set. Next up, let's take a look at Jamahal Hill sends warning to Alex Pereira. Jamahal Hill has been eager to welcome former two-division Glory Kickboxing champion Alex Pereira to 205 pounds. However, now with Pereira sitting atop the division, it'll be Hill who enters the fight as the challenger when the two face off in 2024. After sitting cage-side in New York and watching Pereira's win over Yuri Prohaska, Hill sent a clear message to his upcoming opponent in a video with freestyle benders David Adesanya.
I think it plays out dominantly for me. I think the skills and the attributes that I possess against somebody like him, and then what I've seen from him fighting, you got to think that I was there cage side this time, so now that would make 4 of his last 5 fights I was there live. And just based off of what I see, I just see that I have skills and I have attributes that he just hasn't dealt with and that he won't be able to deal with, I feel.
As Hill revealed, he's hoping to be ready to start a camp in January, and he's eager to fight by May or June if everything goes according to plan. When he returns, he'll have the chance to not only settle his beef with Alex Pereira, but also recapture UFC gold. Now, let's shift gears and take a look at UFC updates. With just days to go until the highly anticipated middleweight clash between Brendan Allen and Paul Craig, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates. Starting with some pretty big news regarding Jordan Levitt, who's scheduled to fight Chase Hooper on this weekend's card. According to Alex Behunin, Levitt and his wife are expecting their second child 4 days after the fight. In the event that his wife winds up going into labor on fight day, Levitt has made it clear that he will withdraw from the fight to go be with his wife. So long as the pregnancy timeline goes on as planned and she doesn't go into labor, Levitt and Hooper will clash at the Apex on Saturday. Looking ahead to the new year, reports have indicated that Gregory "RoboCop" Rodriguez and Brad Tavares will throw down on February 10th in a bout with all the makings of a fight of the night contender. The fight will see Tavares look to build on a win over Chris Weidman, while Rodriguez looks to build on an August win over Dennis Tilulan. Last but certainly not least, we have the UFC debut of undefeated Danny Barlow, who will take on Yusaku Kinoshita at UFC 298 on February 17th. So far, the UFC has yet to announce the location of the card. However, it will be headlined by a featherweight clash between Alexander Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria. The bout with Barlow will look to extend his unbeaten streak, while Kinoshita will be looking to snap a 2-fight streak that likely sees him with his back against the wall going into this bout. With the end of the year right around the corner, expect more and more fight announcements to continue to surface in the coming weeks. Next, let's take a look at Sean Strickland disrespects Khamzat Chimaev. While Sean Strickland wasn't overly impressed with Khamzat Chimaev's win over Kamaru Usman at UFC 294, the pair have kept things respectful. After Strickland's win over Israel Adesanya, Chimaev praised Strickland for his work ethic and willingness to fight all contenders. Now, however, Strickland has fired a shot across the bow and taken aim at Chimaev. In a recent video for his YouTube channel, he was seen in the gym discussing his upcoming title defense against Dricus Du Plessis. As he surmised, thanks to Du Plessis' awkward style, it'll be a tougher fight than Khamzat Chimaev.
You know, I'm a million times better than him. I've sparred guys he's fought. I know who he is, but he's so awkward. He's good. It's gonna be a war. He'll be a tougher fight than Chimaev. Chimaev, he doesn't. We all know that. Like, the only reason why Chimaev gets that shot is because he sells raw tickets. That's it.
Based on Chimaev's indications, after Strickland and Du Plessis fight, he will compete against the winner, likely over the summer after his hand heals up. With Strickland frequently keeping an active schedule, as long as he doesn't suffer a serious injury against Du Plessis, he'll likely be eager to defend his belt sooner rather than later. Next, let's take a look at Dana White reveals big money move. According to a news release by Atomic Brands, Monaco Ready to Drink Cocktails and the UFC have entered into an expanded multi-year agreement that will see the brand's logo plastered on the octagon at UFC Fight Night events and on pay-per-view cards. Interestingly enough, the press release from the company also indicates that they will be featured on The Ultimate Fighter, indicating that the promotion isn't pulling the plug on the reality series just yet. The news comes on the heels of Monaco being named the official hard lemonade of the UFC and the official canned vodka cocktail of the UFC earlier this year. Astute fans likely noticed the branding on a limited number of pay-per-view events in the past. However, thanks to the new multi-year deal, Monaco will be recognized as the official canned cocktail of the UFC on all Fight Night and pay-per-view cards. UFC Senior VP of Global Partnerships, Grant Norris-Jones, spoke about the partnership, as quoted by PR Newswire. In only a short time, we've seen a tremendous response towards our Monaco branded integrations in our content and live events. We're committed to the long-term growth of the ready-to-drink category because it's a great fit for our brand and it targets the sweet spot of our young adult demos. The new partnership kicked off at UFC 295, with the promotion expected to feature Monaco as the official canned cocktail of the UFC on cards going forward. Next, let's take a look at Sean O'Malley talks Chito Vera rematch. At UFC 299, Sugar Sean O'Malley will have the chance to avenge the lone loss on his record when he steps into the octagon with Chito Vera for a highly anticipated rematch. With the stakes at an all-time high, the fight has divided the MMA community, with many fans confident that O'Malley can get the job done, and others of the mindset that Vera will once again emerge victorious. After having their first stare down for the rematch recently, O'Malley appeared on Andrew Schultz's Flagrant podcast to share his prediction for the bout.
But yeah, I knock out Cheetos. Get back to that question. I feel like I'll knock him out.
You think you'll knock him out?
Yeah, later in the fight. He's tough, dude. He's very durable.
Yeah. No, Cheeto's
very tough.
Cheeto's tough.
Yeah. So I'm not going in there expecting him to, he's gonna try to kick my legs. But that's kind of like been a lot of the guys' game plans. Kick my legs. I think he's just gonna hope his cardio outlasts mine and just be durable and try to get a finish later in the fight. Probably will be his game plan.
The opening odds for the fight notably had O'Malley sitting as a -220 favorite to Vera's status as a +185 underdog shortly after the announcement. With both men finding plenty of success since the first time they fought, it'll be interesting to see how things play out this time around. Dana White reveals bad news after UFC Shanghai, which was supposed to take place on December 9th, has been changed to Las Vegas. The 4 scheduled Road to UFC fights on that card will not happen on December 9th in Vegas, but will be rescheduled to a later date. Brendan Allen went off at Khamzat Chimaev's ranking. Here's what he had to say.
It wasn't a middleweight fight. They weighed in at 85, but they're both 170s. I don't know how you rank it. I don't know if anyone's here is on the panel, but if you do, I don't like you. Yeah, it's bullshit. This guy hasn't beat an 85er. He hasn't beat an 85er, especially a ranked 85er. And now he beat the #1 170 guy. Cool, congratulations. I think everyone can agree a 5-round fight, Kamaru wins, and that was off the couch. Keep him at 70 and rank him number 1. Like, okay, do that. There's bullshit. The rankings are absolutely political bullshit.
Top comments. Damn, it's crazy that Aljo happens to be friends with the entire UFC roster and doesn't want to fight anybody. O'Malley, I'll be the biggest athlete in sport. He's already been punched one too many times. The problem with the rigging fights theory in regards to Sean O'Malley is that nobody's talking about the refs. If you rewatch his fight against Jan and do not consider all the cheating, you could justify giving Sean the decision. The ref, however, allowed O'Malley to cheat all through the fight, mostly fence grabs, but also a few other violations. Based on what the judges had to go on, giving O'Malley the win wasn't a horrible rigged decision. Patty does know that him and Ian are fighting on the same card next, right? Gonna be awkward at the press conference now because Patty's talking so much shit about Ian. Laughing my ass off, unless Patty thinks that going at Ian at the press conference will win the public back. Make sure to leave a comment and you might get featured in our next video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to never miss any MMA news. Check out our video from yesterday if you missed it. See you tomorrow.